You're not late to the party yet, but you ought to know that Clark County, Washington is the place to live over the next 5, 10 plus years. Now, by Clark County, Washington, I'm referring to Vancouver, Washington, which is one of the top 5 largest cities in Washington state, as well as the surrounding areas like Camas, Washougal, Ridgefield, La Center, Battleground, Salmon Creek, Orchards, Philida, Brush Prairie. These are all some of the names of the towns and areas that are all part of Clark County. And when I was growing up, say 20 years ago, Clark County was really just known of as like part of the Portland metro. A lot of people who worked in Portland would buy homes in Vancouver because of the tax advantages of living in Washington state. But really all of the luxuries of a vibrant city were in Portland. Vancouver didn't have much of that to offer. And on the outskirts of Vancouver, it was predominantly rural. A lot of dairy farms, a lot of agricultural activity. There wasn't a whole lot of development. Well, that was 20 years ago. Today, there is a ton, and I'm talking to the tune of billions of dollars of investment that are being poured into Clark County. And it is an incredible place to live because, one, Washington state is just one of, if not the best state to live in. For one, there's no income tax in Washington. And then two, the state itself is very financially sound. And there's just a lot of good things that are happening here. A lot of wonderful initiatives to protect Washington's national beauty. There's a lot of good political give and take. No one political party is ever going to be totally happy, but there seems to be good sort of balancing of political powers in Washington relative to some of the other areas in the Pacific Northwest. And it's just a friendly, happy, awesome place to live. Now, I may have biases, of course. I live here, but that truly has been my experience. I moved out to the Midwest for about a decade, and while there's a number of wonderful things to say about the Midwest, there's just nothing that compares to the natural beauty of Washington state. And with Clark County in particular, it's amazing. I mean, you're no more than 2 hours away from the beach or from incredible mountains. So if you want to go skiing or if you want to go hang out by the ocean, you could do both of those in the exact same day. There's not too many places in the world that are like that. Of course, a lot of people love the climate of Washington state as well and of Clark County. Clark County being a little bit further south in the state, we don't get nearly as much rain as you might get in Seattle or in Bellingham, but we do get enough rain that it keeps it very lush and green year-round compared to eastern parts of the state like Spokane, where the temperatures can be a lot more extreme of hot summers and really cold, snowy winters. Now, those are some of the highlights of what makes Washington and Clark County so great. Those are things that those have never changed. But what I was talking about earlier, where there has been billions of dollars invested in Clark County, well, that's why you want to be here, is because right now, real estate prices in Clark County are still relatively affordable compared to the Portland metro, compared to Seattle. You can get a beautiful home here for much, much less than the same home would cost you either in Multnomah County, Lake Oswego in Oregon, or anywhere around Seattle. So property values here are good right now, but they're going to appreciate like crazy over the next 5, 10 plus years. Now, where we're seeing some of the most significant investment is in downtown Vancouver, particularly upon the waterfront. Billions of dollars have been poured into redeveloping the downtown Vancouver waterfront, and it is so exciting to see because we have high-end luxury apartments. There are just a few really, really incredible condos. I got to tour the Kirkland Tower a few weeks ago. Remarkable spot. But then they've done a fantastic job with designing that waterfront area so that you have all of these wonderful local restaurants and wineries and coffee shops and boutiques that are on the main floor with these big wide pathways and with cafe seating outside and with big pavilions right next to the waterfront where they do concerts in the park. There's a water feature for kids to be able to play in. It is a fantastic area to go on a walk, to hang out, to grab some wine, to grab a bite to eat. It's just awesome to see how vibrant it is and how much it has changed the tune for people who live in Clark County. Because like I was saying earlier, it used to be that to get those kind of high-end local restaurants or boutiques, you would have to go across the river and into downtown Portland to find those things. But it's amazing to see that the very best of the best is finding a home right in downtown Vancouver on the waterfront, and that development is nowhere near done. It's going to continue to expand and grow, and as all of that money is being put into the waterfront, well, we're starting to see that cause revitalization throughout downtown as well. There's some incredible historic homes that we're seeing be restored and updated, and so just awesome opportunities for real estate, especially if you like that historic downtown charm. Really cool neighborhoods down there that I'd love to show you more about. So I'll do another video that does a deep dive on the waterfront, but that's just one example of where there is a ton of investment. Then you go, downtown Vancouver is on the southwest side of Clark County. If you start going straight east into East Vancouver, well, this is another area that has grown a ton. I grew up in East Vancouver. I was a Fisher's Landing kid, a Mountain View High School graduate. This is before Union High School had opened. And East Vancouver at that time was pretty much just fields and a few like starter home developments. Well, that's not the case anymore. All along 192nd, you have fantastic mix of both local restaurants and shops, as well as your big box retailers, things that are more typical of suburban area. So you have a Costco and Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, Fred Meyer, all of the big shopping areas that you would expect you need. There are fantastic schools out on the east side, but there's a few major development projects that are coming up over the next couple of years, these master planned communities. One of them is the VIC, the Vancouver Innovation Center. Now, this is about 100-acre area that in the center of it is the old HP regional headquarters. It is a massive, massive building. Well, when HP moved out, another developer bought it, has really done an incredible job of renovating that space and making it a hub for innovative companies to do research and development or to expand kind of their startup and grow it into a thriving, vibrant business. So there's this really cool, right at the epicenter of the VIC, all of these cool little startups and companies that are doing amazing things, also creating some fantastic job opportunities. But in the development plans all around this innovation center are going to be mixes of multifamily and single family residences. There's going to be parks, there's going to be local shops, there's even plans for a new school that are all going in this master planned community. And the idea behind this community is to make it a highly walkable area, a place that you wouldn't even need to have a vehicle because everything that you need is within a 20-minute walk of you. And of course, this is in a beautiful setting, very close to the Columbia River, only 15-20 minutes away from the Portland Airport, just a phenomenal spot. So the VIC, Vancouver Innovation Center, that's an exciting project. And then just a couple miles south of there is the Palisades, which is another massive development. This was an old rock quarry that they're now turning into another master planned community. This is also going to have a mix of higher density multifamily, whether that's apartments or condos. There's also going to be some single family residences. There's plans for a retirement home community there. Again, more shops, some fantastic nature hikes and walking trails because of the elevation. They're really using the slope and the natural features of the land to make it just a paradise for anybody who's looking for, again, one of those communities where you're able to walk to absolutely everything that you need and enjoy the beauty of being so close to the Columbia River without having to sacrifice the convenience of, if you do need to hop in a car, you're 20 minutes to the airport, 30 minutes from downtown Portland, 20 minutes from downtown Vancouver. Fantastic spot. Now, if you're watching this thinking about Clark County at all, you've probably heard about Camas. Camas has been recognized in several publications. Most recently, it was recognized by money.com as being one of the top communities in America to live in. Now, Camas is a very historic community. It was built up around the original paper mill, but it has done an amazing job of modernizing. And Camas itself has all kinds of hills that are looking up over the Columbia River, views of Mount Hood, and even further down you can see Mount Adams on a really clear day, or Mount Jefferson. It's just a beautiful spot where you can get panoramic views from several places in the city. They do have a very historic downtown where they've done a great job of retaining the charm and the character of a historic downtown, while also just knocking it out of the park when it comes to having some of the best culinary options, I think, of anywhere in the world. If you're looking for good food, Camas, downtown Camas, is the spot to be. Again, there's also some fantastic boutiques. The streets are just beautiful to walk upon. There's a very, very sweet community feel where people are very friendly and welcoming and inclusive. It's a very warm, welcoming, awesome spot to be. Now, Camas has grown a tremendous amount over the past 10 years. They've done a fantastic job as city planners to retain the natural beauty and to create a good mix of both high-end housing as well as making sure that they're creating some more affordable, higher density housing options. And one of the most recent plans that they have announced in their next phase of growth is the North Shore development. Now, this is a massive development that's happening along the north side of Lacamas Lake. And they're doing a great job of retaining nearly half of this developed space as natural lands with fantastic walking trails, ways for you to be able to enjoy all of the beauty that Camas provides, as well as fantastic views of the lake down below. And then mixed in with the nature is going to be single family residences, multi-family options. There's going to be some commercial space, mixed use space, a new school. This is another area that is just going to grow and take like crazy. Camas, one of the reasons that people love it so much is because the schools there are so highly regarded. They're some of the best, not just in the state, but even in the nation. And so a lot of folks, when they're relocating, they hear about Camas schools. And so it's really exciting to see this North Shore expansion and the ways that that's going to create more opportunity for people to live in this highly sought after community. Another new school that's going in that perhaps your kids could be part of. It is a really, really wonderful place to live. I'm very excited about this development, and we'll do another deep dive on that in a future video as well. But anywhere that you look in Clark County, there's just tremendous growth. Ridgefield is another one of those areas that when I was growing up, Ridgefield was the boonies. I didn't know anybody who lived out in Ridgefield, but now it is one of the hottest areas to live. It has a feel very similar to Camas, where there's this vibrant small town, downtown culture and feel with a lot of local restaurants and community hangouts. There's a fantastic nature wildlife preserve. It's a city that's tucked right along the Columbia River, so you've got some beautiful views there. And if you like boating or swimming, there's some beaches and things that you can go and hang out on, places to launch your boat. But there's a ton of new development out in Ridgefield as well. They're getting a Costco. The first In-N-Out burger in Washington State is going to be in Ridgefield, and there are just no signs of things slowing down. And that's also rubbing off onto La Center, which is another really stunningly beautiful area. You can hear that there is a theme here, but La Center, like Camas, has a lot of hills, a lot of elevation, a lot of spots where you have views of the surrounding hills and mountains, catching some fantastic sunsets. a lot of nature paths, again, a very close-knit, welcoming community feel, and a lot of builders are starting to move into Le Centre, which of course, there's also Élené, which is a ton of investment has gone into the Élené Casino and Resort. That's becoming a real destination here in the Pacific Northwest. And so it's great to see the town of Le Centre, it's great to see the city of Ridgefield, those are both taking off. Battleground, Washington is another one of those cities where there's just a ton of investment that's going into Battleground. Battleground definitely has its own culture, very sort of like a down home kind of culture. If you like that sort of country feel, Battleground has done a pretty good job of retaining that. You're again tucked up kind of on the foothills that lead into the Gifford-Pinot National Forest, and so you've got beauty all around you in Battleground. That's another great spot where there's a lot of builders that are building homes, a lot of new development. I can't say enough. The point is that Clark County is growing like crazy. There is so much opportunity here for whether you're looking to start a new business, whether you're looking for a new job, whether you're looking to just connect with natural beauty or be in a more welcoming community of folks. I can't say enough good things about Clark County, Washington, and there are so many places for you to look into and live. So this is an introduction. I'm going to do deep dives on all of those different developments and communities that I mentioned, but leave me a comment below on anything that you want to know more about. What are things that you have questions about related to Clark County? What are some of your favorite places if you live here or have visited here? And of course, if you'd like to talk about finding the perfect home for you in Clark County, Washington, well, that's what I and my team are here to help with. And you can find all of my contact information in the description below. So use any of the links there, set up a meeting with me, reach out. I would love to hear more about you, your search, and really find the ideal spot in Clark County for you to live, because I promise you, it's here. This is the place to be. There are so many good things to say about it, so many exciting things that are happening here, and I would love to tell you more about it and find the perfect fit for you. All right, y'all, that's what I got. Be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Better yet, get in touch with me. Let's talk. Let's find you the right fit. We'll talk to you again soon.